staff could also, could form basis for claiming relief from government? That's question number one. And question number two, how will you factor in the computation of benefit in kind in this payee computation? I mean, a staff is given a car allowance, for example, whether he's being bought a car or the staff opt for an allowance. I mean, a cash allowance or so. How would you show that in the what would be the impact on the payee computation?
Okay.
I wouldn't know if you can use figures to just buttress the point.
Okay, thank you very much for your question. Now, the first one, which is what some deduction staff can claim, okay, as regards tax exempt item, apart from the one that was highlighted there. So, if a staff obtains a loan and to build his own personal property, where he's occupying. So, and they obtain the loan, okay, from it could be a mortgage bank, So, but insofar is using it for his own personal property, he can also claim deduction from that, the interest on that loan, not the principal, and just the interest on that loan could also be is deductible apart from what I've highlighted there. And the NSITF, the National Social Insurance Trust Fund contribution, that contribution is mainly done by employers. And it's usually a percentage, maybe 1% of the payroll or so. So it's not employee, if in a company, an employee are being made to charge, to contribute from that fund, then it also qualifies for what, based on the NSITF, it's usually is a social insurance by, from the what the name even connotes, social insurance that the employer should do for their employee. So it's something that will be claimable under the company's income tax computation and not under the payee computation. So for benefits in kind, the benefit in kind is usually subjective and is usually a source of argument when it comes to tax computation. But if you have evidence that, okay, a particular car was bought, at a particular cost, say about 1.5 million, for an employee. So the law requires you to recognize 5% of the cost of that particular benefit. I mean, that car, if it's an asset that you buy for the 5% of that cost to in the payee computation, okay? And if it's not an asset, you could value the benefit in kind based on the prevailing market rates and let it be something that is defendable. The valuation should be defendable, maybe like staff park and the likes. Then you value it based on open market prices and you put it as part of the end income of the employee. So it will just increase the end income and that's all. And the same calculation we've used here will apply. Of course, your relief allowance, which is your CRA, will be better. It will be increased because it's a taxable income. So your CRA as well will go up because you've incorporated the benefit in kind into it. So that's my position on that. Okay, Mr. Kayode.
Oh, that's fine.
Okay, thank you, sir. So, Madam Bukola Osabofu.
Yes, I'm with you.
Yeah,
your comment.
This is Tax Practice Academy. So it's not a seminar, the usual seminar. So we always want your contribution and your comments and also we expect that you would have done some research before coming to class. So,
hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, I didn't get your last statement on Mr. Kayode's question. Did you say in calculating your CRA, you are to add your 5% of your benefit of whatever you have received as benefit in kind, 5% of the value in the computation of your CRA.
Yes,
Was that what you
because
said?
it's a taxable income now. So it will that
Yeah, I
part is,
know.
yes, so definitely in your CRA it will come into your CRA. Okay, it will come into your CRA as well. So you can claim your CRA will go up. Your consolidated relief allowance that you are claiming from the government will also increase. So your gross income will increase with that
Sure,
benefit
it's
in
true.
kind. So it will impact on your
Sure,
CRA as well.
sure, it's true.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So we're on that question and answer session. So I want contribution from Mrs. Bukola. Mrs. Bukola Osaibovo.
Yes, Mr. Obi, I'm with you.
Okay, your comments or your contribution or question.
No, the question I wanted to ask
Okay,
is
ma'am.
what Mr. Kayode also asked, and you have
Okay.
attended to it.
Okay,
Because
ma'am.
I'm just looking at it that with this new Finance Act,
Yes, ma'am.
there is tendency that we'll be paying more tax.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
I'm just thinking and looking how one can get more relieved so that at the end of the day, the CRA will be much higher and the taxable income will also reduce. And I think you have mentioned it that if there are other BIK
Yeah.
available,
Yes.
it can form part of the reliefs that
Yes.
will make the CRA to be higher and the taxable income to get lower. So that's why I didn't ask the question again, not to be repeating what has been said already.
Yes, exactly. Again, you can also restructure the payroll because it's not the tax is not only deduction in the payroll. If you're in a company that they deduct let's say pension, they deduct of course they deduct NHF. Now, if your basic is too high, you have to look at reducing your basic, your BTH, housing and transport, so that your allowances will be more in terms of your medical allowance and meal allowance and other kind of allowances, so that other deduction will be
No,
lower.
so okay, sorry, Mr. Obina. I think I didn't get that straight because ordinarily, all the components of one salary should form the total emolument and form the gross income, if I'm correct.
Yes, yes.
So if you are now saying that the basic housing transport should be reduced and some other components now
Increase.
increased, I don't understand the effect of that. Can you please take it again?
No, the effect will not be on payee, so to say, but the
Okay.
effect could be on other part of your payroll deduction. Like if some staff, except old staff are many in your organization, some staff like the 8% of because they will soon retire and they want to take care of themselves. It depends on the agreement with the staff anyway. But someone that you are taking is taking, let's say, is BTH, basic is 100 naira, housing is 100 naira, transport is 100 naira. So his BTH was 300 naira, and you apply 8% on 300 naira. 8%, that's for pension now. 8% for
I
pension.
understand what you're saying.
So that will be like 8%, 10%. That's 24 naira. Okay, so that's
Mm-hmm.
now if you now make it BTH, so it'll be 50 naira. Let's assume for those items, basic 50. I'm just assuming anyway. So his total BTH is 150 naira. So 8% of 150 naira should be 12.5, 12.5. So in terms of other deductions that will, that will leave the payroll, that will be reduced in a way. So you now compare it with, of course, it will be reduced, and because what's your tax exempt item also will be reduced. So in that way, you are kind of having enough amount as CRA, consolidated relief allowance, and you are paying less tax. So it's the entire payroll you will look at to optimize it. But if the HR is not very smart, they'll just leave it like that. So, but it requires you to discuss with all the staff and management and see how you can restructure the payroll totally if you want to
Comment, sorry.
increase your
Hello?
take home. You say?
Hello?
Hello?
I didn't get your last statement. I didn't get it.
Okay, what I'm saying is that you don't look at only payee, okay, on the payroll. You don't look at only payee. You look at all deduction. Payee is a statutory deduction, right? NHF.
I understand, but now I think what we are looking at now is that we are looking at the payee and the ways of like how one can structure the payroll and the impact of the payee will not be too much on disposable income available to the staff. So we
Yes.
are still going back to that payee.
Okay. Yes. You know
It's
my
still
point.
it's still around payee. So
Okay.
with what you have explained,
Yes.
I have not actually gotten the relief you said someone will get if the basic housing transport is lower and the other allowances increase. I didn't quite get it, but don't worry,
No, it's
I
very
will try
easy.
what you
Oh.
have
It's
said.
very easy. I want to ask who else understand what I'm saying. Let me
No, I mean
admit.
the impact on payee. That's what I'm saying. Impact on
Yes, it will
payee.
impact pay. It will impact
The
pay.
impact is going to have on payee.
Yes, the impact on pay. It will impact pay from my analysis. Now, what I'm saying now is look at the Finance Act. Hmm? Finance Act is
Mm,
saying that
mm.
your gross income is after you deducted your tax exempt item and
Reliefs.
non-taxable income and
Mhm.
business expenses and capital allowances. Now, the only thing you're looking at your tax exempt item. What are your tax exempt item? Are they not NHF? Are they not
Yes.
NHIS?
Pension.
Are they not
Yes.
NHF, NHIS, and what was it called
Mm.
now? And NHF and NHIS
Premium.
and pension and
Life
pension.
insurance premium.
Can you hear me?
Mm.
Can you hear me?
Pension premium.
Yes, those are your tax. If you can
Yes, I
reduce,
said pension premium. I'm with you.
if you can
Yes, I can
reduce,
hear
if you
you
can
very well.
reduce those ones, your CRA will go up. And one way of reducing those ones is by reducing your BHC, basic housing and transport.
To reduce the basis on which they are computed, Abi.
Yes, well, you now take the income. Let's say you reduce your BHT, your basic housing and transport, you reduce it a bit. You now take the money to other allowances. Your tax exempt
Okay.
item will be
Okay.
reduced. Then your CRA will go up. In fact, at the end of the day, is
We
you
go
you
up.
yes, your CRA will go up. Apart from
The taxable income will also reduce, Abi.
yes, the taxable income will also reduce because CRA has gone up.
Okay.
Taxable income also income, then the tax you pay will reduce. Then you also look at BIK, look at owners occupier property if you have loan that you use for your own personal house. So these are what we call